Well, good afternoon my YouTube friends, it's Margaret again from M.E.s Orchids, and I've done the repotting video, so I thought I'd just bring you up into the grow room and just show you a couple of things that I'm altering. You'll see the temperature's 24°C with 52% humidity. Now, I have had the humidifier on, but I can't leave it on too long because with with minus temperatures during the early hours, and so that means then if I've got too much humidity, then I run the risk of some of these orchids rotting, and I can't afford for that to happen. So I've been just changing one or two things round. I've just actually put that Hoya Archibald Arna pink. I've just moved that over here, just under the full spectrum light. That's the Cattleya there, Forbes the Eye, and of course that's the nice Dendrobium pendulum, and that one there is the Dockerelia. And I've repotted yesterday some of the, Saturday and Sunday, some of the mounted ones. And this one here is Olcoglossum subdiflorum. And I've put this in semi-hydro. It's just in this glass out of ours at the moment because this one likes to cascade over. And I've just put a little bit of that live sphagnum moss there, and I've opened up this top shelf. I mean, there is room there to put something else, but I'm just leaving the options open at the moment. What I'm trying to do this transition period is just to remove some orchids that some of the hybrid Phalaenopsis that I'm not going to struggle with anymore. It's just pointless, and just either transfer some of the others over to semi-hydro, or if not, the wicking method. So basically I want to go more towards the inorganic media. Now this is the shelf, you'll see here, bathed in this sunlight, and I've had to actually pull this blind down. If I pull the blind up now, you see, so I've pulled this blind down while I was looking at that top shelf, but you can see now, and actually this, I can feel some warmth in this sun, and we're January. This is unheard of. I mean, I don't know if you'll see there out in the garden. We've got a big yucca, and it's already got 3 flowering fronds on that. Anyway, I'm digressing. Apologise. So these are some of the Vandaceous types. Of course that's the one that's already flowered. I must get round and cut that one off. And all these others are absolutely loving it. And we might actually be seeing the emergence of some green roots. And on this top shelf here, I've brought the big is it RLC, the Tian Mu, and I brought this here, and I've had to stabilise it, so it's actually raised the roots. There's 3 nice big roots there. It's slightly raised them, and the reason I've raised it is, can you see that growth there? I needed that to be more proud. That new growth there was sitting in the gravel, and if I take you around here, you'll see the other roots developing there, and then of course that should enable this eye, and there's another eye the other side, to develop also. And the reason I brought that here is because this other one, if I just go on a little step here, which is the Dusky Maid. Can you see? It's getting too much light. So I've elevated that one to here, and brought this one from that shelf to here, just so I can keep my eye on it. These are the Pink Diamond. They're alright. I mean, I can still feel warmth in those leaves, considering they're not actually on the windowsill, they are actually stepped back. And this one here is, of course, the big Laelia purpurata. And if I bring you around that area, you'll see the roots developing nicely down in there. And of course this is transitioning to semi-hydro, but you know, we might lose some of these back canes here. That looks a little bit dehydrated, but you know, it has this sympodial growth, so I've no need to worry. And I've got several inches available, so it won't need to be repotted for a couple of years. And so everything else on here, which is bathed in sunlight, that's the Phalaenopsis hieroglyphica. Now that doesn't mind the sun, so I brought that one forward. And there's Dusky Maid again, you see. I'll just have to watch that one. That's Rhyncho Cattleyanthi, because I don't want that one to start to suffer with too much sun. And of course this is the Sergio Aria Yukusuku story, and this one soon tinges, that the leaves soon tinge if there's too much sun. And if we go up here, and of course this is the Siderea japonica. I tell you, they all think it's spring, and whether or not we're going to suffer, there's the buds opening there. So this won't get water today, because we've been given low temperatures, and I don't want this sat here, especially as I always have this window here. Can you see how it's cracked open there? That's always open. And this one, this is the, let me just bring it down, and I'll have to be careful I don't knock everything, but I bring it down and just hang it here. And this is Laelia lobata, and we've got that new growth there. Is it going to focus? Come on. And we've got that root there. But what I did notice last night, or yesterday afternoon, is, remember that root that went through there? And it came out and it stopped there, didn't it? Well, there you go, you see, we've got another one. It's focusing now. So from that one, which stopped, we've got the other little root now, and there's that nice new growth. So I'll just leave that there for a minute, and take you across here and see what's happening here. So over in this corner I've got the Angraecum sesquipedale, that's the other Chrysotoxum, and that's my Maxillaria. I've got to decide what I'm going to do with that yet. And that's the Rhyncho Costylis gigantea peach, and that new leaf is still growing. And of course this is the Staphyglossis. This doesn't mind where it is. I've also pulled this off the mount, and this is the Gomza let's have a look. Cinnamon oncidium It's a longy pipes one, Lecco, Long Island, and I just thought I'd try this one in semi-hydro, and got the roots. I've not covered the roots up. I need to get some more horticultural grit, but that layer's already been absorbed, so and that fits quite nice there, just under this top shelf. And I've got a couple of phalaenopsis there, and I've got that other phalaenopsis there, and here this is the Bifrenara sweet lime. This is one that got thrown in the bin last year. Well, I don't know if you'll see that, Michael. Can you see that little thing there? That's a new growth. So I'm thrilled to bits about that. Absolutely thrilled to bits. There's the M.E.s Tankenvillia. This is where it's sitting. I need to bring the thermometer up here. Sorry, I've got another gauge downstairs that'll tell me how warm it is just on this lower level, because what I need to find out is whether these two little Masdevallias, which are still dropping leaves, that's Pyxis, whether they will be alright down here. And then of course those two that you're looking at there, those are the Pleurophthalis. That's the container all ready for when I do the repotting of this Fred Clark aria. It's in its dormant stage at the moment. I keep looking at it though, because as soon as it starts to show signs, I shall get it into a new container full of nice new sphagnum moss. There's the other two Masdevallias, that's Coriacea. Just have to see whether or not they're going to be okay. And when I pull these leaves back, of course, that's the Dendrobium falco-rostrum. The other one's the Oncidium powii, and this is the other section of the Gomza, Long Island. See, I think they're all right. And of course, this is your big Coelogeny, although I've got a couple of, if I just gently get up, a couple of deteriorating leaves there. Don't know what's caused that, both of them. But never mind, they're very old leaves. And just looking here at these marks on this Phragmipedium. But I'll keep checking them. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, they've all got to transition, and it's like everything else. So let's put this back up here. If you just bear with me a minute. And let's have a look at this one. This is Laelia rubescens. Still extending its roots out, and I don't know whether you're going to see that if I can get in close enough. That's got a new little tiny growth as well. But you see, can you see what happens? This is that old pseudobulb. I have to be ever so careful. It worries me sick because they die off, and I don't know whether that's a trait, but that's how they start. They start from the centre here, and then before I know where they are, the leaf's falling off. So put that there. So you'll see here, I've put the big Orchids falcata. Put that one there, and don't think there's much change over here. We've still got the Hoya there, and that's Pubicalyx Black Dragon, so that's just fine. I've got no worries with that one. I brought this one up to the top shelf, and that's the let me just get the label. should never forget this. It's Pastoral Innocence. So I brought that up to see whether, you know, just to give it a little bit of extra light. I brought this one from the other shelf, and that's the Dendrobium, let's have a look what this one's called. Dawn Marie Rung Camel. And there's the other one, the Dendrobium famosum. That one's dropped all its leaves except that one. So that's still distressed. I've brought the lovely Walkeriana here. And we've had one or two leaves. Just go like that. Whether it's something or nothing, I don't know, but not overly watering it, but it still has to be watered. And of course, this is that Catasetum pileatum, and it's still producing new roots, and they're still there. They haven't gone down yet. I'm just wondering whether they'll travel around because it's ridged. We'll just have to see. I've not watered it yet. And that's the Epicatleya. It's got a new growth on there. No, I don't know whether you'll see the new growth. It's just tucked underneath. Alatilio Santa Maria, that one's called. And of course this is the shelf with all the Phalaenopsis on, and I think that one, this is Tetraspis purple. That one's extending out. And that's a Pathiopedilum. That's another Pathiopedilum. That's a Phragmipedium. That's the other Phalaenopsis Tetraspis. And that's in the far corner. I don't know why I saved that, you know, that's that Coelogenous species one, but I've never got it right yet. And that's the Phalaenopsis cornicervi, var Chateladeae. And these are just the, which I usually deal with as a Phalaenopsis Monday, but I've not had chance yet. So if I step back, don't know whether you see any different. Can you see I brought the shelving back in, and the reason I brought the shelving back in, I was thinking about some of these phals, and you know, I've had some die on me recently, haven't I? Let me see these nice roots. Let me see. And I remembered, because I'm not using these big round, well, there's all different sizes, these plastic containers. So I thought I'm going to transfer them. And you'll see there's some sphagnum moss at the moment. But I'm only doing that whilst they're transitioning. This one, you see, still got a bloom. And it's got that nice new growth. I've got a leaf there that's not very happy. This one here, that's in a self-watering pot, and I'm leaving that intact. I've not changed that over. This one here, I've not changed that over, and we've got that lovely bloom there. But what I have to remember, because I got some of these mounts down last night, and I caught this one there, and it broke off. Well, I could have spit, honestly. I just thought, oh, you clumsy thing. But it hasn't deteriorated yet, and it's been there now, oh, many hours, many hours. That one, I unpotted, can you see the one with the pink root? And I've just put some horticultural grit at the bottom, and a fraction of water. And these are the two buds. Look, and they're just starting to crack open. That one and that one. But that one's going to open first. And then people might say, oh dear, you know, you've actually done that while it's blooming. Well, I'm not one that leaves things I just get on with it, and if it needs unpotting I unpot it, and it's got two chances. It either survives or it dies. And let's have a look at this. Is the M.E.s, and we'll just keep our eyes on that. The one behind is the Dendrobium Li Chang Yi Miriam, and I wasn't happy fully submerged in sphagnum moss. I'm thinking, you know, you're gonna lose some of these. So what I've done is just brought them out of full sphagnum moss, put them in like a semi-hydro, and just layered some sphagnum moss on the top. And go back down here. This is the other one that's in spike. Nice roots, see? Nice roots there. This is the little one that's in spike, and I've left that. I've give it new sphagnum moss because it was in moss, and I've attached that plastic square container inside this yellow, this open one. So I'm thinking that's going to be fine. And there's actually through there, can you see? There's a couple of Phalaenopsis. That one is actually in semi-hydro. That one's still in bark. This one, what made me choose which ones I was going to save? Well, they had to have viable leaves to enable them to bloom, or they had to be in bloom or bud. And some of the others here. Now this is the one that I had crown rot on, and I was in two minds whether to actually bother with this one, because that's the new cakey. That was the one that had the crown rot, but it's quite a nice looking plant, and I thought, well, I'll leave it and just see whether or not it does anything. There's another one, you see. This is the one from Curly Orchidine, and this is Phalaenopsis Limelight. So this was already in one of these open type containers. And that one, well, I'm not sure about this one yet. It's only the fact that it's given me that new centre leaf, and there's quite a few new roots. Otherwise I might be thinking I'm going to get rid of that one. And down here somewhere, I think it's this one, just tucked under there, that's Phalaenopsis Limelight, a little bit dehydrated. Oh sorry, that's not Limelight, that's just the hybrid one. I used to have it on a piece of wood. So that's what I've done there. If we bring you up now, and I've brought this one here, that's the Phalaenopsis, that is on its second inflorescence, the white one. These are some of the other, that's Cattleya. Now what's that one called? I've got two of these. There's this one, and that's Cattleya Syncoriana by Alawi. There's that one, and then that's the other one there, and this one is the Dendrobium J.O. Candy. This is another one that objected to me moving it, but I've got a new growth, and that root's extending there. So what I'm trying to do is just discard those that really aren't worth the effort, and those that are healthy to try and grow on. And of course that's Cattleya cernua, and that's the Ampulacea that little one there. This one here, can you see, is Gracilli. And you might think, oh, that was on that lovely piece of wood. Yes, it was. But I'm conscious that later, well, it's only just 10 months now, we're going to go away. And if I can leave as many orchids that don't need what I call every other day care, then I shall enjoy that holiday much better. And I was going to show you this one. I don't going to have time. I've got to decide what I'm doing with these. And can you just see under there? Look at that new root. And so what's this one called? Andean Fire. And I've got to measure these containers here as against that one, because if they're going to be deeper than this one, then I'm going to repot that one. But these are due for watering. And then, so let's take you from this area and bring you back over here. And let's have a look here. This is the Dendrobium a day. And again, although there's no added water yet, I've brought this into semi-hydro. It has dropped some leaves, but it's got that new growth, which I thought I'd actually secured it up there like that. And it's got that new growth. So this one's just going into active growth. A good time to move. This one is the Dendrobium Kingsit Red Splash, and this one's coming into active growth. And again, can you see? I've not been very successful with this type. I think it's like a Kingianum type, but I'm going to try and do better. So that's what I'm intending to do this year, is the ones that I've got, I'm going to look after them, look at their requirements, make sure that I'm giving them everything that they need, and hopefully they will thrive. I mean, like at the moment, these are the Masdevallias, long yellow striped, and these have been fine. But I do think at some point I need to repot them. We are showing signs of some dieback. That's the Thunia bensonii, but that will does die back in the winter. And of course that's the Dendrobium hildepoxum, which is speciosum times tetragonum. Now I'll bring that a little bit further in. That doesn't like too much sunlight. Anyway, time's running away with me, so I'm going to bid you farewell now. These are the Hoyas here. I've got this extra space here, and of course that's the big Alicera. So from me to you, take care. Bye bye now.